So first and foremost, my name is Sean Kozak. I'm the CEO of Tickblaze, and I come in here on these presentations as head of product and system architecture for the technology team. I spent a lot of time working with the R&D and development teams, building systems, testing systems, deploying strategies, and it's a passion, it's a skill set, and what's really fun is when we find strategies that are really, really good, right? Like, let's be honest, there's a lot of ways to trade, but that doesn't mean you should trade it. And, there's a lot of traders out there that are looking for simple, consistent ways of taking money out of the market. And that's not always an easy task, right? Like, that's not always as easy. It's easier said than done, so to speak, right? So, we're going to talk about automation today. We're going to talk about a strategy that I think everybody in here will relate with. One of the things we try to do is when we put strategies into the marketplace or when we bring them to our community, we want to make sure that they're relevant, they're consistent, and they have an edge, right? Relevance is important because if you don't trade that way, or if most people don't trade that way, then it would be useless. Consistency is obviously something we're all striving to maximize, but basically making it easy, right? Like you didn't come here today to make your day more complicated. The markets are already complicated enough. So we're going to keep it super simple. Even for new traders in here, this is going to be a breath of fresh air, I promise you. And if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. And if I don't get to them, we'll cover them at the end of the webinar. Okay. We'll record this. We'll send a recording out to everybody so you don't have to worry, and make sure that you stick around to the end because we've got some extremely good giveaways. We've got very, very cool discounts and a whole bunch of cool stuff for everybody here. Okay. So type a yes in the chat box. You guys understand that, and we're ready to proceed. I want to make sure we're good to go. Yes. Fantastic. Okay. So essentially, because we're in the trading industry, apparently regulators require us to put this in these presentations. Probably a good thing for all of us. What we want to do is just know that I'm not an advisor, I'm not a broker, I'm not a CTA. I'm not here to give you advice. I'm not here to sell you profitability. I'm here to provide technology, tools, resources, and education. And if you do place money in the markets, most likely we will lose all of it 10 times over, and we are no special case to the bunch. Also, past performance never guarantees future results. Does that make sense, guys? I need to make sure we're all on the same page. Type a Y on the chat box. You accept the risk disclaimers, and we can move forward like a bunch of trading professionals, right? I think that's important. Great. Now that we're all here and we're all a bunch of adults trading in the industry, that's great. Fantastic. So when I do these presentations, right, many traders know us, many traders don't. And so one of the things I like to lead with is no nonsense, no fluff, no bullshit. I'm not here to pull wool over eyes. I don't think there's a place for it in this game. I think there's a lot of sleazy salesmen, and I'm not here to be one of them. I am here to provide context to what we build and how we use it. And if you feel that it's valuable, if you like it, if you see the edge, if you understand what we're doing, then I promise you this is an event you're going to want to chalk up and keep watching. Okay. Everybody here wants the same thing. Like, we're not all special. We're all here to do the same thing. Lower risk, make more money, have more of an edge, be more happy doing it, right? We want to enjoy life. We want to be able to say, you know what, this is actually fun for a change, right? So the goal here is to provide you a strategy that you can use. We will teach it to you. We've tested it, we've used it, we've built it, we've deployed it, we've optimized it on multiple markets. We have seen it perform on many different asset classes, pre-market, during the cash session, etc. But the goal here is for us to go over the details of it so that you can learn it and you can understand it, and then you can look to trade it. Okay. And my promise to you is to make it easy, right? Like, I know that strategies can sometimes be daunting, whether that's a manual strategy or an automated system. But with the right teacher and the right guidance, it can be very, very fun and an easy process. Does that sound good, guys? Give me a yes if that sounds good. Um, I like to talk about performance. I like to talk about how the markets perform on different strategies. One of the things that we do with these webinars is on Fridays, every Friday morning after these events, my development team, my R&D team, and the guys behind the scenes, we actually host a private webinar. And the reason we do a private webinar is so that we work with all the traders that are actually using the system and actually using the software so that you can learn how to get the most performance out of the strategy. There's nothing worse than buying a tool or using a strategy and then all of a sudden you just don't know where to start, right? You don't know how to set it up, you don't know how to turn it on, you don't know how to make the most with it. So one of the things we want to do is we want to show you the templates that we've built, we want to show you the settings that we've set, And then we also want to test it on new markets and show you how to do it on new asset classes so that you can actually see how really, really amazing this tool can be because obviously, what's good if you don't know how to swing the hammer, so to speak. Okay. So I promise you this is going to be fun. Let's get into it. Okay. This is the agenda. I want to get out of talking. I want to get into more examples. So if you want to take a look at this, we're going to go through these talking points. We are going to give away some free licenses at the end of the event. So obviously, stick around. If you're not here, you can't win it. And we do have really, really, really special pricing going on for the presentation. In fact, we've just dropped all of our pricing in the store, but for launch pricings, we ultimately provide even exceptionally large discounts. So everybody here like to save money. I'm assuming that's probably a good thing. Yes, type a yes if you want to save money and you don't like spending full price. I know I do. And if I spend full price for anything, my wife's going to give me shit. I can promise you that. Make sense? Hell yes. Good. So let's talk about this. Trading is effing hard, right? I'm going to be a little bit less vulgar on the mic, guys. Trading is effing hard, right? And the truth is that we all battle demons. We all have problems with how we trade, whether that's strategy, whether that's emotions, whether that's execution, sentiment, reading the market. Maybe you're just not, your brain isn't firing on all cylinders that day and cognition is down. Whatever the case may be, manual trading can bring a level of subjectivity, ambiguity, like just things that make it even harder to make money. What automation tries to do is it tries to remove as much of that as possible because we can allow the computer, once set up properly, to basically remove a lot of that, right? Whether that's execution speed, getting better fills, getting better entry signals, and not missing a trade. It will never remove your emotions completely because that's impossible. As long as you have skin in the game somewhere, it's going to be difficult to remove that completely, but it will reduce it drastically. One of the big things for me is the back testing and the optimization. And why? Because it's really about the data. Now, let me talk a little bit about that, right? Outside of being 100% mechanical and basically having really good execution and just letting the computer do what it's doing on the strategy, it really boils down to trust, right? And I want to ask everybody here, okay? Like, how many of you guys have felt at any given time that you really didn't truly trust your strategy? Yes, like realistically, can you just tell me like how many of you guys have at any given point just felt some days where like, you know what, I just don't really trust what I'm doing right now, or I really don't believe in my results, or I'm really starting to second guess what the hell is going on, right? One day's up, one day's down, 2 days down, one day up, 5 days down, 1 week up, 2 weeks down. Like it's like, holy shit. Like it starts to put the negative monkeys in the brain. And it's really because you don't have enough data to be able to make really, really, really powerful decisions. Okay. And so what automation does is it gives you a level of data that you would normally not have if you were a manual trader. And this data is very valuable. In fact, it's so valuable that even automated traders that I know like automation, they will run automated systems for the testing and they will then trade the strategy manually. Some traders will actually buy algos and they will do it to prove the system because they want the data to give them more belief because they don't feel confident in what they're doing manually. Many traders that take the automated systems don't actually automate execution. They just use it for validation and then they choose to whether or not they want to automate execution or not. And that's the power of using our systems. You can do both. But one thing is true is that if you take 100 trades manually and 100 trades from an automated system, I can almost bet my career that the manual trader cannot provide the data that is going to give you the belief to want to put capital behind the strategy. Automation can do that. Okay. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on that data and we're going to focus on how this works. We're going to focus on why it's important. But most importantly, let's talk about the signal. Okay. Does that make sense? How many of you guys would like to learn how to take automation and improve your strategies or improve your trading or improve you as a trader, right? Even if you're new and you don't know how to do it yet, right? I think everybody should want to learn this. Like if you're going to get in the business of trading, why not venture down something that can actually change your course of direction? You may not need to adapt all of it. Maybe you want to adapt some of it. Maybe you want to adapt all of it, but that's the goal. Okay. Now, can everybody see this? Everybody see this image? There's two trades here. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to essentially talk about these trades. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to grab a cursor. Give me a second. Okay. And how many of you guys, okay, we're gonna call this the top and this the bottom. Okay. How many of you guys, yeah, Carol says I'm trading manually. I want to, yeah, everybody's struggling, Carol. You're not in a different boat. I promise you, I'm here to help. If I can reduce that at any given point in your career, hopefully I've done my service. Okay. Let me explain this. How many of you guys know what a reversal is? I know it's a pretty stupid question, but let's just get right down to the basics. You guys have all heard of a reversal before, right? Okay. Well, you know what happens with reversals is that you're making a decision to go against the market. And there's obviously a buy low, sell high concept in there, but who says where you're buying is low and who says where you're selling is high relative to who's actually moving the market, right? So what happens is the market comes down and it comes down and it comes down and it comes down and it comes down. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, shit, you put a buy here because you're trying to call the bottom. And sometimes you're going to get lucky. Actually, you will get lucky and you're going to feel like, fuck yeah, like I did it. Like I got it, right? Like I feel it. And you know what that does is it gives you false confidence that you had control in the market. It actually gives you the wrong cognitive dissonance in your brain. It programs your brain to believe that what you did was right. And let me explain something. The one thing I've learned over 10 years in this industry is that we are never right in the market. The market is not about being right or wrong. It is about understanding how to participate in a moving environment to extract an outcome. And so when you look at the market and you try to call the bottom and it runs through your orders and you take a big loss, now you start to question. The day before you were right, the next day you were wrong. So what the hell do we do now? Right? So what this strategy does is it takes we've hijacked momentum. And a lot of times, like if you take a look at this momentum oscillator down here, right? This is a proprietary tool we use. Let me just talk about why it's proprietary. We take multi-time frame cycles using multiple different periods of velocity, and we run it through stages of velocity, and we normalize the data so that we can basically make it auto-adaptive to whatever market or time frame you're on. Now, in short, all that you need to worry about is normally traders are trying to participate, right, when the market is green or when the market is red. Okay. And they start getting on here. They'll get on here because the momentum started to go down. They'll get in here because the momentum is starting to go up now. And they wait for momentum to basically tell them, okay, like momentum crossed here, right? There's the zero line cross, momentum cross here, there's the zero line cross. And they're waiting for the market to do this, right? Well, if that's the case, well, then you're buying right here, right? And if you're waiting for momentum cross, you're selling right here. And what ends up happening is you're basically getting in not on a reversal. So, like, if you're trying to get the best execution when the market is going down and you have a bottom, instead of trying to catch it here, which is a big no-no, we're basically saying we're going to catch it here after the market's shown us that that is where the market's reversing. Now, if we tried to use momentum, we would be getting in here. Same thing on the shorts. If we come in, ouch, that hurts. Coming in here, we're selling here, okay? Instead of momentum, which is getting in here. We're already taking an exit where all of the momentum traders are trying to get into the market, hoping that the market's going to continue. And a lot of times the market doesn't continue, especially in days where the markets aren't trending and it's oscillating and et cetera, et cetera. So what we did was we created crossovers using multi-time frame velocity and momentum. Now, I know that sounds hard, but you want to know what's under the hood of a Porsche, ask a Porsche dealer. I'm telling you what's under the hood of this Porsche, and we're taking the multi-time frame momentum oscillator, and then we normalize crossover averages. We take the data inside of the momentum, and you can almost see where the momentum crosses here. It's really where the market stops. Like it starts putting in consecutive momentums here. because what ends up happening is like you're missing 50% of the impulse move here, waiting for confirmation. And so what we're doing is we're actually able to take advantage of the reversals at the best times. Does this make sense? We're not getting in trying to call the tops and bottoms, but we're getting in before the trend traders and the momentum traders start showing their head. And that's almost the perfect place to be, is you're not taking excessive risk trying to be the guy that steps in front of the market, but you're also not waiting for lag where the market's starting to pick up and actually start trending. You're getting in before. It's literally the sweet spot in signal generation. And to be honest, it's incredible. So how many of you guys understand this? Like, do you guys get this? Make sense to you guys? Type a yes. This is kind of, I've done a good job explaining it to you. It is exciting because you're able to time reversals with very little heat and get in with extremely good accuracy before the momentum and the trend kicks in. Like, what else could you be wanting for? Okay. So let me talk about something. The signal alone is not enough. And we talk about this every webinar. I'm just going to keep driving it home. This is what we call the Algo Engine. In fact, the Algo Engine is proprietary software that we spent a lot of money and a lot of years building. And what it does is it ultimately takes strategies and it makes them more profitable. So what do you mean? Well, the strategy is the signal. But what we do is we have a system that allows us to optimize the stop losses, the targets, the time factors, the money management, the filters, the directionally filters. It allows us to take the 20% signal that everybody is excited about and optimize much better expectancy to increase the performance. And this is really, 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 really important, because when you buy a strategy, and I mean any strategy that any vendor in the industry is selling, my hat goes off to them, because if they're coding signals and they're developers and they're trying to sell strategies, hey, maybe some of them are really good strategies. I'm here to call it that I could take every single one of those strategies and make them better. And that is one of our secret advantages to using the Tickblaze Algo Engine with our systems, is that we can take performance and optimize it in a much better capacity than just using the signal by itself. And so the way that we do this is we take it through all these different sections. Now, we're not going to get into this today, because that would bore the hell out of me if I was listening on the other side of this presentation. But we will be going to it tomorrow. And why tomorrow? Because it's going to take a good 30 minutes to explain why this information is critical. Let me ask everybody a question. If you had a strategy that makes $5,000 a month, okay, and you gave it to me, and I spent a little bit of time and I turned that strategy into 10,000 a month, what would your response be to that? Like, what would you want? Would you want 10,000 a month, or would you want 5,000 a month? Now, I'm just using random numbers. Like, I'm not saying guaranteeing profits or anything. I'm just, what would be your response to that? Tell me, would you rather stick with the strategy that's doing 5K, or would you really want to do the 10K? It could be 20K and 100K or whatever. Use random numbers. Be honest with me. Who doesn't want to make more money? Exactly. Please share the improvements. Please give me better alpha. And so that you would say, well, how do I get it to 20? And that's exactly it, sharpshooter, is that if you know you can take it from 5 to 10, the question is there a way to get it to 20? And there is, and that's the point. It's knowing how to use the tool to do that. Okay. And so we do this for you. And then what we do is we teach you how to do it. So not only have we already done this with this system, we do this with every strategy. And then we teach the traders who are using the tool how to do it as well. Because what good is it if I just give you our strategy settings? Maybe you want to trade a different market. Maybe you want to trade a different time frame. Maybe you want to do a different asset class. Whatever the scenario is, it's better that I teach you how to use this, because this is an ATM machine. This allows you to be able to create better alpha. And we include it in the strategies. Normally, this would be sold as an enterprise product to institutional quants and hedge funds, which we do, by the way. But it's available to the retail traders, okay, inside of the systems. Does that make sense? So take a snapshot of this. Not really big on reading a bunch of text. I think it's useless sometimes. It's better. A picture can save 1,000 words. Everybody take a screenshot of this. This is a list of all the filters and all of the different stuff that comes with this strategy. And if you want, you can just watch the replay and basically take notes. we're going to get into this tomorrow in the AMA because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to unpack in here, but we can do a whole lot inside of the automated system. Okay. What I care about is just looking at this type of stuff. How many of you guys would agree that that is a really good place to enter that impulse leg? Like, look at the trend right there, zigzag all the way up, right? You can see where did the pullback happen? How do we know that that pullback wasn't going to keep pulling back? We don't. That's the whole point. What happens if this pullback just kept going down? And then it went like this. Our software would tell you that you'd be getting in right here. Does that make sense to you? The whole point of this system is to get you in the best time. Now, let me explain how this gets really, 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 really sexy. Imagine that's an EMA or a VWAP, and you're watching it pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Do you know how many times somebody puts a buy limit order right here on a VWAP and it just trades right the hell through a VWAP? You could literally use this system on any software. If you use this algo on any indicator, whether that's moving averages, Bollinger Bands, whatever the case may be, trending indicators, price action, a trend. What if you drew a trend line? And how do you know it's not going to go through the trend line? You don't. But the software will tell you it's not. The software will tell you that, okay, it's holding, get in, boom, take advantage. If you're a trend trader, you're getting in late, you're going to get in here, which is you've lost a third of your profit. If you're a momentum trader, you're getting in here, right here. You're getting in late. And this is the point is that if you want to get in the best, what I love about this, and just my own opinion is that entry efficiency is everything. In trading, if you get a better entry and you're on the right side of the market, that's the difference between doubling your expectancy. If as long as you're on the right side of the market, which the strategy will only execute if you are, you're getting a much better entry. And as a trader, improving your entry efficiency is going to increase your expectancy tenfold. And so, does everybody understand that? I just like to go through examples. Let's go through another example. Yeah. Take a look at this one. So here's a great example. I'm going to zoom in on this and hopefully let's just do this. Can everybody see that? I just want to zoom in on that. What do you see here? Okay, like what do you see here? Like this is pretty freaking amazing. Like this is this strategy. Okay, like this is this strategy. Okay, so if you're really looking for something that has power and is super clean and easy to trade, let me explain something. This. How many of you guys know what an EMA is? Yeah, like I know these are rhetorical questions, but you'd be surprised. There's some new traders in here. How many of you guys know what an EMA is, or an SMA, or an EMA? Like that's trading 101. Yeah, guys. Okay. I'm not trying to sound arrogant. I'm just showing you how simple this can be. Okay. What we do is we just put two EMAs on the chart. And if you only wanted to trade in the direction of the market, you would go long only and you would take those EMAs. How do we know it's going to stop here? We don't. How do we know that that EMA just wasn't going to do this? Like, I'll give you an example. Look how it traded through this. Look how it traded through that. It traded through both of those EMAs. And if you are trying to put a limit order, I'm going to buy the pullback. Not really good idea. Not really good idea. Buying a pullback is not actually a good strategy because you have no way to verify that. Okay, I'm zooming in here so you guys can see this. Very different, Sherry. In fact, it's very different. And so what we're doing is we're normalizing the momentum. And you see we create EMA crossovers based off, these aren't EMAs, these are momentum crossovers based off the oscillator. So what we do is we take the data from the oscillator and we build crossover logic based off momentum. And the way that this works is you do it inside of the actual strategy trend. If you want to take the shorts, you're going against the trend. So if you didn't want to trade counter direction and you only wanted to trade long, right, you'd be trading this signal, and these signals. If you were going, I'm going to trade every signal, that's higher risk, but it's still a trade. And so that's the whole point of knowing like you can trade this directionally or non-directionally, but you're not going to be calling the tops and bottoms. You're going to be getting in at the right locations. And this is great for scalping. Like this is great for day traders trying to trade prop firms because do you guys see big targets here? How many of you guys see big targets here? Does anybody here see big targets? Like, did I get in along here and did I try to hold it for here? Nope. Did I get in along here, try to hold it for here? Nope. That's pretty good chipping away at the base hits. In and out, boom, boom. An algo doesn't need to be in the market very much time to do. It's base hits, getting in, getting out, boom, boom. 0.75, 0.8, 1-to-1 R multiples, getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out. Why? Because we're waiting for the signals to give us the right entry patterns. And that's really what the algo is designed to do. It's designed to get you in and get you out. Sure, you could hold for bigger, you could hold for much bigger you know, things like that, but it's not necessary, right? Okay, let me just do this. I'm going to make the screen a bit bigger. Give me a second here, guys. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. How's that? Can you guys see that better? Is that good, guys? I'm just trying to zoom in so you can get better examples, yeah? All right, let's take a look at this. Take a look at this, right? Oscillation, not a trend, okay? These are oscillating markets. How do we know it's an oscillating? You can see it. It's going in a very large range market. You've got an up, you've got a down, you've got an up, you've got a down, you've got an up, you've got a down. How do you know that this is going to be the low? That's going to be the high. That's going to be the high. This didn't take a trade here. Not sure why. Maybe it was just outside of the trade window right here, right? Normally, if you were trading throughout the entire session, there would have been a trade right here too, because you can see the crossover right there. Okay. Here's the key, guys. You're not calling tops and bottoms. You're getting in right after the tops and bottoms provide evidence that this is the top and this is the bottom. And if you're somebody that's looking to trade a directional or a non-directional market, this is the best of both worlds. A lot of traders say, Sean, like, I don't know how to, like, I had a strategy, but it only works in trending markets. Well, that's not that good because sometimes the market's not trending, right? And you say, well, I only like to trade strategies in oscillating markets. Okay, but what are you doing when the market's ripping? This system allows you to trade on both sides of that because it's not actually about trends or pullbacks. It's about the momentum crossovers on the velocity indicator. So you can choose to trade directionally or non-directionally or both sides of the market based off the indicator. And that's the key here. And it's really, 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 really clean entries. And you're taking very, very little heat, right? Very little heat. And that's more important than anything, right? As you get into these trades, do you want to be taking a lot of heat? I think that's the number one thing that drives people most mad is that you get into a trade and it just sits there and goes against you, it goes against you, and then it goes in your favor and it goes against you. And it's like that drives a trader nuts, right? So I think you can benefit from this knowing that this is the way the strategy is signaling the entries, right? Right? No heat. Okay, so let's go here. Here's a great example of directional markets. Okay, this is a trending market to the downside, short only. You can see, okay, only going shorts in directional markets. So if you have a strong trend, like we've had some pretty strong trends, like the big trend is down, you can maybe put a 100 and a 200 EMA on your chart. And all you want to do is go with the big flow. Guess what that's doing? It's getting you in here. It's getting you in here. It's getting you in here, 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 and here, right? No heat. Like there's no heat on any of these trades. That's the point. The point is to provide you an indicator system that allows you to be able to get in with very, very, very little heat, very high probability, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to trade it. Give me a yes that that's a win on all counts. How many of you guys would like that? Right? That's the key. Right? A lot of traders at the beginning said they're struggling. Well, you're struggling because you probably, if I looked at your charts, you got a whole bunch of shit on there that you probably don't need on there. Right? Right? Like, and I'm not here calling you out. I'm just being honest. If you sat down with a very experienced trader and they said, hey, what's really going on here? Probably a time for clean of the house, right? And that's the whole point is that this system can do that. Take a look at the longs, okay? Now, here's a great example of, if you were to trade with trend or out trend, you can take it. This is the long here. If you did want to only trade with direction, you could, right? That's your choice. You can choose both. You can take the low, you can take the trend, or if you were just trading trend, you would only take that signal. Okay. Let's continue down. Take a look at this one here. Yeah, this is what I mean by lots of opportunity. So, traders, how many of you guys have bought a strategy and you felt that it didn't give you a lot of good trades? So, a couple things. Like, how many of you guys, yes, it does auto trade, Katie. This is an auto trader. Yeah, this is an auto trader. How many of you guys, you get a strategy, you're like, well, it doesn't give me enough signals. You're like, I'm not getting enough activity. Like I'm a trader, I want to take trades. Now there's a fine line between trading and over trading, but you have to trade to make money. You have to trade to make money. And so a lot of times you get a strategy that's got great performance, but there's no trades, right? And it's too curve fit. The strategies are too curve fit. And you curve fit the system. And what ends up happening is you don't actually have a good system. You have a great picture, but you don't have anything you can rely on tomorrow because it's not going to do what you needed to do. And so I want to show you, like, when you look at this image, you can see the signals. You can see the longs and the shorts. You can also see the equity curve, right? The strategy is firing off insanely clean entries, right? Now I'm going to give a little feedback. This system was designed not by me, it was designed by my head of development, Jeff Zimmerman. We built a few of the other algos, and he said, "Hey, Sean, like these other algos are great, but like I think we can get way better entries." I said, "Well, Jeff, like, show me. What are you talking about?" He's like, "Let's take a look at this. Let's build an indicator that does this on top of the other indicator and take a look at where these entries could be." I said, "Okay." So we go to the code bunker, we meet with the developers, and say, "Hey, can you put this and this together and can we test this?" And this is what happened, right? Better trading entries. And this is the whole point, is that you can trade reversals and directionally with this with very, very, very precise timing. And when someone ever comes, you say, "Oh, you can't time the market." I want you to look at that person and don't say anything, because you know deep down that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. You can absolutely time the market. And we do it very well. Okay. Now, here's another great example. More shorts, clearly directionally only. You can see the impulse legs are bigger, right? That's a great point. You can trade this to any market. It just depends on the strategy, the pair, the bar size. I mean, you could do this is built for Renkos, for our testing using Renko bars. Why? Because it allows us to smooth the price. You get better, cleaner signals. But you could do it on range charts probably pretty well. I wouldn't want to do it on variable range bars, to be honest. I wouldn't want to use it on time, volume, tick. You really want the cleanest entry on small bars. That doesn't mean you couldn't put it on big time frames and trade on really big time frames, just using a Renko or range bar to do that. I think you would get exceptionally big trades if you're a swing trader, especially if you're trading Forex pairs or any other asset class. Absolutely. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you some videos. What we did, we just filmed the videos, right? We did the videos, and we just the best way, like I can't control the market. So when I do these presentations, like I can't go into the say, "Hey, Mr. NASDAQ, can you do this so I can show you an example?" So what we do is we run the strategy live. The best way for us to do this is to run the strategy live, making sure the executions are clean, the indicator is doing what it's supposed to be doing. That is the best type of forward testing, is just turn it on and let it trade, and we film it. And so that's what we're going to do here. Is that's the best way to do a demo, is actually show it in action. Okay, so I'm going to hit the play button here, and let's take a look. So watch, okay, watch as the oscillator peaks out on the low, on the red. So right now, if you were trying to call the bottom, you don't know that's the bottom. It could just keep going down. It could keep going down right there. Now let's stop. We're getting in, not at the low, but right when the momentum works in our favor on the low. That's the key. Where we get the decline, consecutive decline in velocity, okay, we then trigger the entry. And it's just as simple as that. Like there's no funny business here. There's no, oh my God, I need a Harvard degree to do this. That's it. You don't call the bottom. You let the indicator tell you that that is the bottom. How many of you guys think that's quite easy? We don't try to be right. We let the tool tell us that it's the right time. Now you say, "Well, that sounds simple." You make it sound so simple. Well, it is that simple. It's just a lot of people have doubt and fear and regret because they've been beaten up, and you've taken losses, and you don't believe anything's going to work anymore. And I get that, but sometimes it doesn't need to be complicated for it to be good. Right? Here's another example. Market's going up, right? Get an opportunity for the cross. There it is, right? Keep it simple. Momentum shows you're on the right side of the reversal. Clean entries. You know, you're getting in with a very like one tick of entry. Boom. It's just in and out. It's that simple. Like the market isn't even showing negative momentum yet. Like You're out before the negative momentum even happened. And this is what I mean by you're not actually trading with negative velocity. You're trading with negative velocity in the positive momentum. So let me explain something. If the oscillator is going like this, and then it starts going like this, and the zero line is here, okay? A lot of people say, "Well, I'm going to get in when the market shows me negative momentum or negative trend." Well, this is starting negative here. This is negative. The problem is when you use oscillators and indicators, that's what we call lag. And that's why a lot of traders are getting in at the wrong time. So we remove the lag because we take the negative velocity at the beginning, not in the middle and not at the end. And that's the way of getting in front of the movement. Here's a great example, another one. Boom. Going down, it's going down. We're going to keep going. It's clean. I mean, it's just showing tops and bottoms. You're just going to see reversals, executions. It's going to be clean. Perfect. Let's go and show another one. Take a look, right? Getting in here. Let's take a look at this. Negative momentum, negative momentum. So you can see here that the signal happens here, right? And what's unique about this is that, this has got some pretty heavy steam to the downside. But where the positive momentum started was right here, not on the zero line where everybody thinks it does. And, doing this, if this is an EMA, and that's the big time frame pullback, what happens if it just kept going through here? You wouldn't get the crossover there. You would get the crossover here, and you would get in at the right time. And this is the whole point of timing, using tools the proper way for timing. Okay. Take a look at this one. See how the reversal flipped here? See how that you get a Renko flip there, but you don't necessarily get a velocity, right? Like a lot of traders will trade flips, like the market's going up, going up, going up, going up, and then I get a flip bar. And then guess what happens? It just reverses again, and you don't actually get any velocity. Well, this didn't cross here. So just because the Renko flipped doesn't mean it's an entry. It doesn't mean it's an entry. It just means the bar flipped. And this is what happens. A lot of traders get in long here, and then all of a sudden this bar just drops. Like, what the hell just happened? And so, what we're going to do is we're going to just remove that by not getting in until the actual crossover happens. And that's the most important part. Is you want to let the tool help you stay out of the shit that you shouldn't be in and take the entries where you should. And that's just me being blunt with you, right? Like if a trader is going to sit down and say, "Hey, how do I make better entries?" This is the answer. Okay? Because we're out. This trade is out when everybody starts to say, "Oh, I'm long bias." You were long bias when everyone was still short bias. Isn't that the key of like better trading? That's the key. Okay. Take a look at this. Market's on a tear to the upside, yeah? Stop right there. Right there, a lot of traders would start trying to sell that because, oh, we're going to get a reversal. Call the top. Maybe there's a resistance level there, or maybe there's an order block there, or maybe that, right? And the key here is that like you don't know that's the top. What happens if this bar just went keep going up and it did it again there, right? What happens? Like take a look at this. We had two bars going down here. We never had the crossover. If this was the reversal and this was not here, if you didn't know this was here and this was the hard right edge, right? That's the hard right edge. At that point in time, you'd be selling. And then right away, you'd be getting smacked. So where do you find the tool to do this? What we've done is we've basically built the oscillator so that we let the velocity tell us where the better trade is. The better trade is where the tool is best taking the best entry. And we do that here. Like the crossovers here, you're on the right side of the market on the reversal. Makes sense. How many of you guys think that's, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? Yes, like there's no hidden agenda there, right? Like you guys, anybody here not understand that? Give me a yes if that makes sense to you, right? Great. Great. Makes sense, right? Easy. How many of you guys see that's pretty easy? It's very easy. In fact, the software does it for you. You don't even need to automate it. You can turn it off and just let it run, but you can automate this fully automation. It's very easy. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away a free license. Okay. And we're talking some pretty big numbers here, guys. I think a lot what we did, and I'll explain it to you, like we're talking some pretty big numbers here, like really, really big numbers. Okay, let me just explain this. Okay, let's go back here. Like really, really big numbers. And what's important is that like if you go back and you take a look at these numbers, like these are big numbers, guys. Okay, big numbers. And the goal here is that, you don't need to be doing those types of numbers, but anything in the ballpark is exceptionally good, right? And so we're gonna give away a free license. Pete, Jeff, does you guys got the link here?
Yep, I've got it. I put it in the room.
Is the link in here? I don't see it. There it is. Perfect. Can everybody here do me a favor and click on that link and put in the it's in the chat box. It's in the chat box. Oh, you only send it to host and panelists, Jeffrey. You got to send it to everybody.
My bad. Coming up. There we go.
Great. Can everybody see the link? So always like to give back, guys, and just want to make sure that lucky winner gets it. If you win today, Lady Luck is on your side, and if you don't, make sure you congratulate those who do. It's good karma, and who knows when Lady Luck's going to be on your side, right? So once we do this, we'll give her a chance. Just type a Y in the chat box once you've submitted this. I just want to make sure that everybody's got it, and maybe Jeffrey can just post it again and. Everybody's here. We'll announce the winner. Okay. So let me just kind of explain a few things. Okay. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be doing a deep dive training session on this trading system. Okay. We're going to be going over how to set it up. We can look at it on different time frames. We can apply it on some different markets if you choose. We can look at it on different bar types. Jeff's going to be there. The team's going to be there. I really, really, really think that like anybody in here can take one market with this, put it on Renko bars, and reap wicked, wicked trading results based off of just trading in the direction of the market. Like even in non-directional markets, you're going to get really, really good reversals at the tops and the bottoms. And then in trending markets, you can just boom. And you'll know if it's a trend or not. You can see the market. If the EMAs are strung up, it's a trend. If the EMAs are not, and you're going up and down, well, then it's a reversal, and you can go back and forth, right? We Richard, we can send you a recording. Yeah, don't worry. If you can't be there, it's only available to those that own the software. Um, but it's if you can't be there, we can record it. You'll have access. It does not work on Ninja Ed. It only works on Tickblaze, but it does work with all the prop firms because Tickblaze connects all the prop firms, right? So you're in good hands. Yeah, you can use it for prop firms. Absolutely. Yeah. If you're trading with Prop Shop or Apex or Top Step or any of the firms, yeah, you can connect your Rhythmics adapters inside the platform and you're all set. Yeah. Great. So do we want to announce the winner, Pete? We're going to pull that right now. Be
Yep,
great.
I've got it.
You
The
got it, Jeff?
winner is Andrea Rogers. I'll post it in the chat too.
Andrea, are you here, Andrea? You got to be here to win it. Andrea Rogers, where are you? Andrea, are you on the mic? Where you at? Type a yes. You got 25 seconds. Really, I am here. Andrea Robert. Just make sure you leave us a good review. Say these guys actually helped me win something, right? We actually care about people doing well. You'd be surprised out there. Congrats, Andrea. Are you happy you won? Feeling lucky? Lady Luck's on your side. Will do. Just came up from Trade Act. Andrea is winning. So you're winning all over the place. Great. Right. So Andrea is winner. Fantastic. Not sure on that sharpshooter. I got to check with Jeff, but that'd be great. If you can check with the team, that'd be great. Yeah. Perfect. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to go over the discounts. Okay. So Andrea, congratulations. Hopefully you can take advantage. Make sure you email in. We'll get you a license and you're good to go. Make sure you stay in the AMA tomorrow because if you're brand new and you've never used algos in Tickblaze, you got a lot to learn and we'll take care of you, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the discounts, we're going to go over pricing, we're going to go over how everything is, and we're going to talk about the time and what's going to be included in the AMA tomorrow. Okay, guys? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about pricing. Let's get into it. Okay.
By the
So
way, Sean, the new installer will come out right after the webinar. It will say
right.
today's date.
Okay, perfect. So that's sharpshooter. Yeah, the installer will be done right after the webinar. Thanks. Yeah. So let me kind of explain something. We've dropped our prices for launches, so everybody gets better pricing. These used to be like $1,000, $15,000 on launches, right? We've done a massive opportunity for everybody. Normally, you're looking at 10 grand for a system like this. Why? Because you're not just buying the signal, you're buying the core engine. So let me just explain this. This is the meat of what it is. The core engine is the value of everything because this is how we determine profitability. You mean anybody can take a tool and put it to trading, but that doesn't mean it's going to make you money. What we do is we spend a lot of time with the core engine. We have the signal system and then all of the optimized templates, which are going to be going over tomorrow with our dev teams. We've pre-built it. We spent weeks optimizing stuff for all of the traders to have our pre-built templates. That means you could literally take the templates we've built and turn them on in the markets, and you don't even have to do anything, right? That's a lot of value. Okay. However, we also provide you documentation and we provide you the training. And tomorrow we've got a very, very big detailed AMA, which is going to be for you to be able to come and really spend some time with some experienced traders. You'll never benefit more than that. Like you will learn a lot in those AMAs. I can promise it'll change you. Okay. Now, normally here we're saving 92%. 92% on the launch package, guys. Okay, this is huge discounts. Okay, we never ever discount on launches this cheap, and this is huge. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the link. Okay, the webinar AMA is this time, 9 a.m. Eastern, pit open, 30 minutes before the US Open. Okay, and so ultimately, we're going to go over the software. We're going to go over back testing. We're going to go over optimization, and we're going to go over live market deployment. Why? Because we want to show you how to get the best strategy performance, and we show you how to turn on the algos and actually use the strategy. Okay. So just make sure you mark that in your calendar tomorrow, 9 a.m. Okay. Okay. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Just make sure that you put a yes in the chat box or the poll that you are purchasing or not, if you're not. And then if you have a number and you need a call back, then just get a call back. We got a fair amount of people are requesting callbacks, Jeff. So we'll pull the poll and we'll help them out. We've got a lot of new people in here today. A lot of new people coming over from the Corbs and the Trade Act acquisition. So as many of you know, we just acquired Trade Act. We just acquired the Corbs' brand. Took over that entire book of business. So a lot of people in here are coming over from that. Lots of great traders, lots of new people. So really excited to help a lot of new traders out, and look forward to seeing you guys all there. Right. Also, just so you know, Tickblaze is free. Right. So there's a great example of like you don't need to buy Tickblaze. It's free. It's a free platform. You can download it, take advantage of it. If you are trading with a prop firm, you don't even need to buy data. You just connect to a prop firm. If you want data, we connect to everybody. So we don't service Ninja anymore, Ben. Yeah, we're our own trading platform. Yeah, so you can download Tickblaze. It's an award-winning technology stack. We've been winning awards every single year now, and big things are about to happen. Yeah, so welcome, and glad to have you guys here. As the CEO, I just want to say thanks. My team and I work extensively hard around the clock to get these to you, and just to hopefully just a big shout out to all the people involved on my side. Thanks again for putting in the time and everybody. Hopefully, you guys value that. A lot of people moving around here to make sure you guys can benefit from that. So, thanks to everybody. It's a team effort, right? All right, traders. Well, I think that's it. I'm going to shut down and go and grab some lunch. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the day. Remember, do not try to call the tops and bottoms without the right tools. You will get crushed. Right? That is a promise that I can make. So, yeah, we'll be giving the templates tomorrow in the AMA. Yeah. Good question, Joe. No, it's totally different infrastructure. Yeah, the web and the mobile is different. Yeah, algos will be run solely on the desktop. Yeah. Mhm. Trade copiers, yes. Trade copiers, yes, on the web and mobile. That's exciting. Yeah, fantastic. All right, traders, take care, and my team will see you bright and early for the AMA. If you have any questions, we will answer them through support. Can you put the link one more time in here just so everybody has it, guys? Jeffrey and Pete just post the link. And Andrea, congratulations on winning. And if you have any questions, reach out to support. Take care, traders. Have a fantastic afternoon. Bye.